the language the Quran was revealed in the language that was spoken at the time of Rasulullah. So those people, the men were actually very literate. They were not jahil in the sense they couldn't read or write, but they were actually very literate. In contrast, the women were not literate. Because again, they had very disrespect and no dignity for women at that time. Ayyam al-Jahiliyyah. That's the Jahiliyyah that we are referring to. Because they would teach their women. Rasulullah changed that when he came. Rasulullah gave the power and authority to women as well to learn and be scholars till Qiyamah, inshallah. So the women at that time were ignorant. And in Arabic, mothers are called So they say that those children of those mothers who are illiterate will also be referred to as Ummi, because they're like their mothers who don't know anything, who haven't learned from anyone. So that's one example of what an Ummi means. One who is the son or daughter of a mother who doesn't know anything. That's one. Another example of what Ummi means is that Makkah al-Mukarramah was known as al-Qura, the mother of all cities. And this was a title for Makkah. Makkah has many names. Makkah. In the Quran we find Makkah. And al-Qura is also Qura. So the people of Arabia in the Hijaz area, in that area near Makkah, the Quraysh, they were also referred to as Ummiyin, because they belong to the place which is known by the laqab, by the title al-Qura. So from al-Qura, those who live in al-Qura, they were considered as Ummiyin. Now, as I'm giving you these examples, notice that there is no mention of not reading and writing. Qura and those who live in Qura are called as Ummi. If you live in America, in Arabic, you'll be considered Amriki. If you live in Hindustan, you're considered as Hindi. So if you live in Qura, you were called Ummi. So that's the Ummi, that historical background. The other is a community where the book of Allah was not revealed. You see, what do we call the people of the Christians and Jews on whom the books of Allah was revealed, or the Suhuf were revealed upon? Ahlul Kitab. So the Ahlul Kitab, the people who followed the Christianity and Judaism, and before the arrival of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they would refer to the Arab, the ones on whom a Nabi was not yet sent, as Ummi. Meaning they are the original people. They haven't received any word from anybody. They are the ones. So Ummi, the word itself really means asal, the origin. Kisi cheez ki jad, kisi cheez ki asal. So Ummi means the origin of something, the source of something. And so because they are original, meaning they haven't been influenced by the teachings of another book or another prophet. They haven't been sent a prophet. And so at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Arabs were referred to by the Christians and the Jews and the other communities who had books revealed on their predecessors. They would refer to the Arabs as Ummiyin. So it's not because they were not people who couldn't read or write. Rather, it's because they were people who were the original people who had no messenger sent to them. Allahu Akbar. And on the contrary, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that Ana Madinatul Ilm wa Aliyyun Babuha. Allah, and Rasulullah, the people in the Ummah of Rasulullah are referring to Rasulullah as Ummi, with the understanding, with the wrong understanding that Rasulullah couldn't read or write. And here Rasulullah is telling him about himself. So should we take the understanding that these misunderstood Jahil scholars are referring to Rasulullah as like the Quadri at that time, or should we understand the attribute of Rasulullah as he himself describes himself? And he says, Ana Madinatul Ilm, that I am the city of knowledge.
Allahu Akbar. Ya Rasulullah.
I am the city of knowledge. So let's talk about Medina. What is Medina? Medina means city. Now if you look at how we live, people live in cities, people live in villages, people live in little towns or suburbs. People live in countryside, far away from everything. What do you come to the city for usually? People who are living in countryside and people who live in the city, what's the difference in their lifestyles? How about medical care? How about hospitals? How about amenities of life? How about technology? How about universities? How about your lifestyles? Major difference. So what do you come to the cities for? Cities are places where you have all the amenities of life, the latest technologies, the latest amenities, the latest things that you need to survive in this world, or compete or advance yourself in this world. Allahu Akbar. So Rasulullah is not saying that I am the qarya of knowledge, or the countryside of knowledge. He says, I am the Madinatul Ilm. you didn't know. So even if we take that Rasulullah was Ummi, that he didn't know anything, then on that understanding, not knowing anything, if his plate was empty, Allah says, whatever you didn't have, I have given you everything.
Marhaba. Marhaba.
Not only that, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, Ana Madinatul Ilm, knowledge. Now Rasulullah, aside from being labeled as Ummi with the wrong understanding, he was also one who did not have a father, that we refer to as Yatim. One who did not have too much money, that commonly would refer as poor. But subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had his hikmah. And it is the hikmah that is lost on some people, unfortunately, that take the meaning of Ummi, that take the fact that Rasulullah was sent amongst the poor people, that take the fact that Rasulullah was without born while his father had already passed away, as Yatim, showing the weaknesses of Rasulullah. But in fact, these are not weaknesses of Rasulullah. This is the hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is showing the world that yes, to your eyes, he is Ummi. To your eyes, he is Yatim. To your eyes, he might be looking like he is poor. But let me tell you what Allah is actually intending. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that that every next moment for you, Ya Rasulullah, will be better than the moment that was past. Every next phase of your life will be better than the phase that you had in the past. Every new time that you will come to Ya Rasulullah will be better than what was past. Everything is better for Rasulullah coming. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now telling us, is about to tadreejan, explain to us the Quran Kareem, what is the hikmah? And the hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that yes, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if you take the common understanding, that he was not did not know how to read or write because he was not taught to read and write by any other bashar, by any other human being. Rasulullah was not taught by any other human being. And so therefore, the Ummi, one, it fits the description if you say one who cannot read and write to a common person. But when it comes to Rasulullah, Ummi is actually a sharaf for Rasulullah. It's actually a respect and dignity for Rasulullah. For he was not taught by any of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took that responsibility upon himself of teaching Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For Allah is the teacher of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَعَلَّمَكَ مَا لَمْ تَكُنْ تَعْلَمْ. I am the one, or we are the one, as we refer to Allah, His Majesty, that we are the one who taught you everything that you did. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ummi, meaning that he is actually one who was taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what Ummi means. But it is so unfortunate when you look up search Google, when you look up the word in YouTube, anybody who wants to learn, and this tells you that really if you're searching for deen, and if you're searching for deen or the masail in YouTube or Google or Facebook messages, then I tell you right now, brother, and with authority I tell you that will lead you astray. That will actually take you from the path of Jannah to the path of Jahannam. Because you don't know what those sources are on the social media and the internet, unless you know who you are listening to or who you are reading from. So it is very important that we understand what the message. I mean, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending, doing the ba'sa of a Rasul, the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is sending to the people who have the highest prowess in reading and writing at the time, the Arab men. And you expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send somebody who doesn't know? Allah taught him. But the only difference is that yes, beginning, Rasulullah was raised by not being taught by any other human being. But then, as time passed, Allah is teaching Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah has taught him the kitab. And if you might think, okay, but Rasulullah only knows what was in the Quran Kareem. No, that's not the case either. Rasulullah is the shari'. Rasulullah is the one who is the legislator. But the legislator is not only exactly from the Quran. Rasulullah is the legislator. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him the power and the right and the permission to legislate whatever he wants. Because the Quran Kareem, Allah ta'ala says, وَمَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Take whatever Rasulullah gave you, and whatever Rasulullah prohibits you from, you stop.